got a flu shot.
You did?
Yeah. I got my flu shot
Right
already.
here.
Mm-hmm.
But I took off the banding.
As soon as I got in the car, I ripped mine off.
So now he comes in and he sees the doctor and he goes home and he doesn't have to stay, so there's not a lot of time to stay and hang out,
Because
right?
every time he
Right.
got a fever, he would have to go to the hospital.
You're right.
And you know how you guys get fevers? You don't go to the hospital? He did.
Flu.
Yeah.
When he had the flu, he had to go to the
So when
hospital.
somebody is getting treatment for leukemia and they have a fever, it means that they can get really sick really quickly. So Ryder had to come to the hospital a lot because of that. Sorry, did you want to say something?
So I had a fever a couple months ago. It lasted for about 2 days.
Wait, was that the flu? Or is that the... Are you talking about the day
I
you
got
stayed
the flu
home
the day I got the flu. So I got it one day before the first. What happened was, so I randomly got warm,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
and then next day
Next day he was
burning
sick.
hot.
Oh my gosh, he was probably like
Yeah, like
100
degrees.
110
Degrees?
Yeah. It was 100.
And then I went to ER, which is right by
the hospital where you usually go to.
And then, so she brought me in. My mom brought me in. Oh, Dad, I don't know.
It doesn't, just say either one.
Either one. So every time they're gonna give me a little white bracelet.
Bracelet.
What does the bracelet have on it?
It has like his name,
numbers,
it has
right,
like a
the
scanner
English.
tag.
Yeah.
It was weird. I've
How's your name?
And then
It's a good one.
we would go up. You know the
You would
little
go up-
thing.
I never
That you
went to
go
the
up-
ear with him, so
Oh,
And then there was chairs everywhere.
Right, in the waiting
lobby.
room.
So we would sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Next moment, usually Dad would get me candy.
I want candy now.
But then you would see the doctor, right?
Yeah, so we would go in. Dad would put me in bed. Well, first we would get my stuff done. Like, you know, I go on the thing that you step on it.
To see how big you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
The
And-
scale.
Yes,
Yeah, scale.
There we go.
Then we would go in my room.
There we go.
We would go in the room. Dad would put the blanket on, and the doctor would get me iPad. That's how I remember it.
That's what you remember?
And I would play on games. And Dad would always actually bring an extra blanket. So the last time I was there with the flu, and at the last part, Dad, with my mom, I actually got the flu.
Oh yeah, the flu. I think is even worse. I believe, or is that the same thing as the fever?
Well, the flu can cause a fever.
Oh, so it's actually worse.
Fevers can happen for lots of different reasons.
Okay, so then I guess fever is.
You would feel worse when you have the flu than when you just have a fever. Yeah, you
I
kind of feel very sick.
I'm the only one in the family who hasn't got the flu yet. Ryder, Reese, Mom, Dad, they all got the flu except me.
Well, do you think we should talk any more about leukemia, or do you think we covered everything? Should we see if people have
Let's talk more
questions?
about- Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
let's
see
see
questions.
questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call on people.
Okay, you call.
Alex.
I'll go next.
Everyone in my home eats candy except me because I don't like candy.
It's good if
Wow.
you eat candy once.
Okay, we
in a
need
while.
So
questions.
does anybody have questions about leukemia?
Wait,
Ryder went first. Does anybody have questions about leukemia? I think we
How
covered
about,
it,
how
right?
about the adults? Do the
Talked
adults have any
about
questions for
Adults.
Ryder?
Anybody over there?
Anybody have questions?
I think.
I'll give Miss Sauter.
How, oh, go ahead.
Ryder, a few weeks ago you had an appointment, you had to leave school early. Can you
Yeah.
tell us what that was for?
I believe that was for
Blood test.
yeah blood test.
How often do you have to get a blood test?
What, every month or
Yeah, every month. sometimes it's just a
Did
check
he
out.
get his?
I always go to a
what's
place
it
called
called?
LabCorp.
Did he get
You
his?
don't have to go to the hospital to get that done?
No.
Only
So,
once in a while.
so every month Ryder has a blood test at LabCorp, and he also comes to the hospital to see us there. But he doesn't have to have his blood tested at the hospital because he got it done at LabCorp.
But the doctors get those blood test results and go over it with him and make sure that everything's
And
okay.
they do a
After
little
that,
checkup.
we go to Dunkin' to get coladas.
I never came with him.
I was gonna ask, do you have a special tradition you do when you have those things? So you go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a culotta?
Yep.
What's your favorite culotta?
I have two favorite
I like-
flavors: watermelon and cotton candy.
My favorite.
I like cotton candy.
I don't like the cotton candy flavor. It tastes weird because like the one that's blue and pink. I had that one before. It tasted. I don't like it.
I never tried
It's
that
too
one.
sweet. Too sweet.
So Ryder went to the hospital an awful lot, right, boys and
Yeah.
girls?
Yeah.
And
He even had
one of the things that we try to do, because I work at the hospital too, is we know that he's getting medicines and sometimes he doesn't feel well, but we try to make it as happy and fun. Kelly has activities for kids to do, games for them to play.
I remember.
We talk to him and just make sure that he has the
And
best
every
experience.
time at the end, we get toys.
And every time at the end, yes, he gets a
And
special
and there's actually
treat.
a gift shop there.
One day,
I think I've seen you at that gift shop.
I came over to New York City
Mhm.
to Ryder's hop. No, actually, it was over there where you were, and he was on the top floor. I went on the top floor with him, and what we did, we went in that huge playroom.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was that
We
playroom.
kept going on the quad. We'd take turns. It was fun.
Oh, I remember a problem that happened. So I was driving
Ryder.
the
Oh yeah.
I ran over the tube when
Oh,
my blood was
yes.
flowing
Yes.
and the blood just I ran it over, it broke open, blood went everywhere.
It happens.
It happened.
It happens.
The nurses came over and gave me a new one.
And they fixed it.
Yay!
So when kids have to stay overnight at our hospital, there is a big playroom for them to go play in. So Ryder spent a lot of time there when he stayed overnight.
They had
Yeah,
two
I
And the
saw you
other-
often we were there.
Mhm. And the other thing
No,
is
they
that
had three actually.
what you just mentioned before. So Ryder also spent a little bit of time at a different hospital because
yeah, New York.
he got sick with something that was a little bit different and needed some special doctors to take care of him.
Because
So
you
he
guys-
spent some time in New York City at a hospital there as well.
Because you guys didn't have the right medicine.
Right.
And so you guys sent him over to New York.
Mhm. And then he came back when he was better.
And I was healthy.
hmm
Happy.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, a long time ago when I was at Boston and my brother.
Question, honey, not stories, question.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Only questions. No stories.
You can tell them stories later.
Yeah,
Okay?
We'll tell stories after questions.
Did you have a question?
I have a question. What was the longest time you had to stay at the hospital?
Oh, about 3.5 months.
Ooh, okay, that was a long time.
Or years.
Oh,
Yeah, years.
well,
3
so-
years you were there. You had that for 3
No,
years.
so Ryder got treatment. He got chemotherapy for 3.5 years. The longest time you were in the hospital, I'm not sure how long that was, but you were in pretty long.
I'm pretty sure
When-
Probably the
No, you were in for
probably the stay at New York was
weeks
his
when
longest
you went to
stay.
New York.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was
I have a question for John David. You
Yes.
seem to know a whole lot about everything that happened with your brother.
Yeah.
Were you at the hospital all the time?
Yeah.
Once in a while, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't really see him that often.
It's kind of hard because usually they would have to go back and forth. So because it's hard because Reese. I don't know how to
She was
explain.
really little.
Yeah, she was really little, right? And I'm not sure. It was rarely
So you learned a whole lot about what your brother was going through. How
Yeah.
did you learn that?
because I learned it from maybe by going to his hospital,
By being there?
watching.
Yeah, sometimes
Watching
actually
him
vomit did.
Dad helped. Since Dad's a doctor, that kind of helped also.
Mm.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that, did we?
What did we do?
So that medicine, that chemo that Ryder got, it had some side effects and it made him feel pretty lousy and it made him throw up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we
Don't like it.
can we talk about one other thing that medicine did?
It just feels.
So,
it's
That
hard.
medicine
I
also,
don't like it.
it got rid of those leukemia cells, but it hurt some of the good cells too, and it made Ryder's hair come out.
Oh yeah, we had.
Yeah, I actually got bald.
Yeah. And
I actually.
there was also another meaning, but we don't want to say that because another inappropriate.
Oh,
But then you're here for
I remember it.
Oh.
Did being silly try to make you feel better though? Did being silly
Yeah,
help you?
yeah,
it's
being
funny.
silly
It's
makes me feel
funny.
better.
But then your hair grew back, right?
Yeah. Look at he doubled it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old
Good
hair.
puppy. Yeah. Do you want to go get
Okay, so I
So
think
that's-
think another thing you see that both Ryder and his brother John David
Yes.
both love to talk about it and want to share their experience. So can kids ask you questions about it, Ryder, if they want to know a little bit more?
Sure.
Yeah, you're the
Yeah, let's
expert.
see.
And we love the fact that Ryder wants to talk about
We
it
do.
because
Yeah.
even though there were some bad times there, look at now he's finished taking his medicine and he has some good memories and bad memories and he likes to talk about it. So it's okay to ask him questions. Okay?
I got
When
some.
you
I got
were
some.
when you were at the hospital, how much cells did you get out one time?
He never got any. Did he get
Yeah.
cells out?
So that's a good question. That's not something we actually have an
No.
answer to. So you're asking like how many cells were leukemia cells left when that medicine was given. We know that all of them did, but we don't know exactly how much left when.
I'm gonna say.
It was sort of ongoing over 3.5 years.
It's hard because it's all inside your body. You gotta
Right.
do surgery and
Rebecca?
then count, which end up you could die.
Anybody
No,
else?
that's why nobody does that. Good to know.
Rebecca.
How do I forgot.
Wait, I have a way to explain. So this is the bad stuff. This is the good stuff.
So what happened before the good cell wasn't really tough? So this is what happened.
Right. So these leukemia cells, they're kind of like bullies, and they go through and they're mean
That's
to
a
the
good way.
good cells.
That's actually a good way.
They
to
hurt
explain.
those platelets, those red blood cells, and those white blood cells.
Dang.
So that chemotherapy came in and chased all of these guys out, and then these guys were able to rebuild and come back. The good cells, right?
We all happy.
Get out of here. Get out. Oh wait, this is mine. Here, that's yours.
Yes. Yes.
So I think we've covered it all, and I want to thank you all for listening and for being here.
You're welcome.
Let's go get Bunny.
Let's go get Bun Bun. Can I please tell you guys a story first?
Yeah.
Stories.
So